Hi, I'm Bill, and today I want to talk to you about Psalm 27. I want to read a little bit to you where it says, and we've all heard it before, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When evildoers assail me to eat up my flesh, and my adversaries and foes, it is they who stumble and fall. Though an army encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war rise against me, yet I will be confident." Those verses remind me of a strong fortress. Martin Luther had a song called "A Mighty Fortress is Our God." And we've all heard it before. A bulwark that cannot fail, and a bulwark is a thick wall that can never be breached. And that's the way I see this particular psalm, these first verses, that I'm in a fortress, I'm in a castle. I'm right in the center with a thick wall surrounding me, and God has me right where I'm at, and nothing can touch me, and I'm safe. And when I look around me and see all the turmoil and the chaos in the world, it's easy to be afraid and angry and confused and let all these different emotions get to me. But as long as I consider myself within that fortress, I don't have to be afraid of anything. And then David goes on to write, it's a whole different feeling. It's one of peace and serenity, where he says, "One thing I have asked of the Lord, that I will seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, and gaze upon the beauty of the Lord, and to inquire in his temple. For he will hide me in his shelter in the day of trouble. He will conceal me under the cover's tent, and he'll lift me high upon a rock. And now my head shall be lifted up above my enemies all around me. And I will offer in his tent sacrifices with shouts of joy, and I will sing and make melody unto the Lord." A whole different feeling than the previous verses. It's one of just total peace and with God and being in his tent. Even though I'm not in a fortress, I'm still in that fortress, but I'm in a tent to where it's just comfort and tranquility. And I think of Daniel and Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego when they were in the lion's den and the fiery furnace. Were they in the fortress of God? Yeah, absolutely they were. They had nothing to fear, and even Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego said, if we die through this, it doesn't matter. We'll never bow down to the king. We have one God. And so they knew who they were and where they were at. So they came out of it great. But what about Stephen, who was the first martyr who died a terrible death, being stoned to death? But when they first seized him and he started speaking to the council, it says at the end of that chapter there, that when they looked on him, it said that he had the face of an angel. They couldn't believe what they were looking at. And Stephen goes on to give the history of Israel. And after he gave the history, they turned on him, they took him out to the city, and they were going to stone him. So was he still in that mighty fortress of the tent of the Lord? You bet he was. It says that even at that time, he cried out to the Lord and he said, "Receive my soul and forgive those people for this sin that they've just committed." And then what? It says he fell asleep. What a beautiful thing. He had no fear, and he wasn't shaken like we do or anything. And so that's what I encourage you today. Marcus did a great sermon today talking about just how we have to be intentional and determined and deliberate on spending time with God in the Word and in prayer, and just really getting to know our Father, and just to spend time so He can speak to each one of us. So that's my message to you today, that you read this psalm, see what you get out of it. What does the Lord say to you on each one of those? And I just hope you find strength in the Lord and have no fear of what's going on around us. Thanks, and have a wonderful day.